For nearly 9 years, Sarah Mitchell lived by one simple rule: never leave a problem for tomorrow if you can solve it today. Every weekday, while most of Chicago was still asleep, her silver sedan would pull into the parking lot of Horizon Global Logistics before 6 in the morning. The security guards knew her by name, the warehouse workers respected her, and the truck drivers trusted her judgment more than any executive sitting in the glass offices upstairs. Yet despite everything she had done for the company, very few people truly understood how important she was. Sarah wasn't the CEO. She wasn't a vice president. She didn't have a reserved parking space or a luxurious office overlooking the city's skyline. Her office was small, filled with stacks of shipping contracts, maps, supplier agreements, and handwritten notes collected over years of solving problems no one else could solve. She never cared about titles. What mattered to her was keeping the company running. When Horizon Global Logistics was on the verge of losing its biggest transportation contract during a nationwide fuel shortage, Sarah worked for 36 straight hours without going home. She negotiated emergency agreements with independent trucking companies across 3 states, saving the business nearly $200 million. Nobody outside the executive team even heard about it because Sarah never wanted recognition. She simply smiled, drank another cup of coffee, and moved on to the next crisis. The company's founder, William Harper, understood exactly who Sarah was. He often joked that the business had 2 engines. One was the fleet of thousands of trucks traveling across America every day, and the other was Sarah Mitchell. Whenever executives panicked during a crisis, William would calmly ask one question: "Has Sarah looked into it yet?" If the answer was yes, everyone relaxed. Over the years, Sarah turned suppliers into friends instead of business contacts. She remembered their children's birthdays, attended retirement dinners, and even visited one supplier in the hospital after he suffered a heart attack. Those relationships couldn't be written into contracts. They were built through years of honesty, loyalty, and respect. Several competitors tried to hire her away. One company offered almost double her salary, a luxury company vehicle, and a generous signing bonus. Sarah declined every offer because she believed loyalty meant something. William Harper had given her an opportunity when she was struggling to support her widowed mother years earlier, and she never forgot that kindness. But life has a strange way of testing the people who value loyalty the most. Everything changed after William suffered a serious heart attack during a business conference in New York. Although he survived, his doctors ordered him to step away from the daily operations of the company. The board of directors appointed his 31-year-old daughter, Olivia Harper, as the new CEO until her father recovered. The announcement was met with polite applause, but behind closed doors, many employees exchanged worried looks. Olivia was intelligent, ambitious, and highly educated. She had earned an MBA from one of America's top business schools and had thousands of followers on social media, where she frequently posted motivational quotes about leadership and success. However, there was one problem. She had never actually managed a logistics company. To Olivia, running a billion-dollar business looked easy. She believed old systems were outdated, experienced employees resisted change, and young leaders like herself knew exactly how to modernize everything. On her very first day, she gathered every department head inside the executive conference room. "I appreciate everything you've done for this company," she said confidently, standing before a giant digital presentation. "But from today forward, we're going to do things differently. No more outdated thinking. No more old-school management. We're building the future." Some employees applauded politely. Sarah remained silent. Experience had taught her that real leaders didn't announce themselves. They proved themselves over time. During the next few weeks, Olivia began replacing veteran managers with friends from business school. Employees with decades of experience were quietly reassigned or encouraged to retire early. Meetings became longer, but decisions became slower. Important reports were replaced with colorful presentations filled with buzzwords that sounded impressive but solved nothing. Every Monday morning, Sarah still prepared her detailed operations report, just as she had done for years. It included weather risks, labor shortages, supplier concerns, shipping forecasts, customs updates, and dozens of recommendations designed to prevent future problems before they happened. William Harper used to read every page carefully. Olivia barely glanced at the first paragraph before sliding it aside. "I prefer dashboards," she said one morning without looking up from her tablet. "These reports are too old-fashioned." Sarah simply nodded. "If that's what you prefer." Instead of arguing, she quietly returned to her office and continued doing what she had always done, keeping the company alive without asking for recognition. Then, one Thursday afternoon, Sarah received a frantic phone call from the company's largest overseas supplier. A labor strike at one of the busiest ports on the West Coast threatened to delay more than 500 shipping containers filled with critical inventory. If the cargo didn't move within 24 hours, Horizon Global Logistics would breach multiple contracts and face penalties exceeding $50 million. Without hesitation, Sarah canceled her evening plans and flew to California on the last available flight. She spent the entire night negotiating with port officials, union representatives, and transportation companies. By sunrise, she had secured an alternative shipping route that saved every single contract. Exhausted but relieved, she boarded the first flight back to Chicago. She had no idea that while she was fighting to save the company, someone in the executive office was preparing to destroy her career.